right? Like I can't give you that point of view. And then AllBall talking about people never catching strays, and he feels as if Gregg Popovich never catches strays, and that Gregg Popovich is overrated.
And big shout out, I forgot who was. I'm going first. We ain't even got to ask who going first. Somebody in the building when we first came on said it in the comments.
I saw it.
And big shout out to Gregg Popovich, who helped D Wade become one of the greatest shooting guards of all time and help him get a ring by making one of the stupidest plays in NBA Finals history by taking out Tim Duncan in a pivotal moment of an NBA Finals game where Chris Bosh was allowed to get the offensive rebound and Ray Allen hit one of the biggest shots we will ever see in sports history. Now, here we go. Is Gregg Popovich great? Yes. Big shout out to Rashad McCants. So, AllBall is not the only one that's crazy. We have a former NBA player. Hey, I'm just saying.
What did Rashad McCants say? I haven't heard that name in years.
Go ahead,
once again, I'm just saying. Some of these guys we can laugh at, but they made it to the next level.
No,
he played at the next. But I'm just saying. We kind of like with social media, sports media, we kind of like don't give a lot of guys props. I can be honest. Like sometimes we may sniff and laugh at guys if they're not the LeBrons or D Wades, but these guys made it to the next level. They made it to where I would have loved to make it. He said the same thing I said. He said straight up, you can YouTube it. This is him verbatim.
I listen to every word he said.
Gregg Popovich can't coach. He's overrated. And my opinion is this. Is he a great coach? Yes. Is he top 5 because of the rings? I guess so. But for me, he's not top 3. He doesn't win without great talent. Now, do you need great talent to win? Yes. But when he don't have talent, he don't even compete. Like it's not even close. He barely makes playoffs. He barely is winning playoff games. So I'm just trying to say, what's the big deal with Gregg Pop now? Is he great at evaluating talent? Is he great at finding talent, picking talent, and making them great? I give him props for Tony Parker. People laughed at him when the Spurs picked Tony Parker. Nobody thought he was ready. 19-year-old from France. Nobody thought he had the skill set. And in the beginning, he didn't. But they groomed him and made him into a great player. But when Popovich doesn't have great players, San Antonio is a joke. A joke. We see what my guy did in Miami. We see what other coaches do when they have not so good talent. They still compete. When Gregg Popovich ain't got great players, it's literally San Antonio is irrelevant. I'm just trying to figure out how can we argue when Gregg Pop doesn't have talent, what is the San Antonio Spurs doing? Please, somebody explain that to me. When he doesn't have the three-headed monster, great talent, just like Bill Belichick, I put them in the same realm. When they ain't got them dudes, when they ain't got Tim Duncan, when they ain't got Kawhi, when they ain't got David Robinson and Sean Elliott, damn near all-star team, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're doing nothing. But what's my guy? But when Spoelstra got a half-ass team, he's getting to the finals. What are we talking? Wow. Yeah. Hold on. We argue all day. Nobody has Jimmy Butler as a superstar. Some of us laughed at Bam and said Bam is not even top 30. We ain't even got to go through
said that. Don't run from that. You said that.
Yeah, me and some other guys. All right, me. I'll take that, right? Then you got Cody Zeller. We're not even naming the rest of the roster. So what are we talking about? There's better coaches out there than Gregg Popovich. I'm sorry. Gregg Pop is overrated. Listen, that might be on my gravesite. I'm gonna tell my girl.
This shit for Rage Man.
I'm telling. Listen. I'm telling my kids and my broad. Listen, hey Dom. This is for Dom. I'm telling my kids and my broad. Hopefully, I live to be 100-something years old. When I die, you know what's gonna be on my tombstone? Gregg Pop is overrated. Yes, I'm going to the grave with that. And I'm not crazy. We have other players that has said that. So don't make it seem like I'm bugged. Go ahead.
You've been rolling, OG, and we respect it, and we know where you stand with this one, right? First of all, let's start with the messenger, because you said the messenger. You started with the messenger, so let's start with the messenger, Rashad McCants. Rashad McCants never played for Gregg Popovich. Let's talk about that first. Rashad McCants never played for Gregg Popovich. Okay, so to take what he's saying, and okay, you got relationships around the league, so you may hear that from somebody else, whatever. But if you ain't never been in the foxhole, ain't never been on the bench, Steven Jackson has a love-hate relationship with Gregg Popovich, but he will never say the wild shit that you just said. He's overrated, right? He will never say that. He hates Pop, but he will never say he's overrated. My only point is this. I ain't going to get into the whole... Pop is not overrated. And why I say he's not overrated is because the 5 championships that he has, yes, Tony Parker, yes, Tim Duncan, yes, Manu Ginobili are constants, right? The first one, no. But after the next 4, they're constants. But aside from that, he has had to adjust with so many different teams, right? Deal with different aspects, different guys, putting it together. He gets the best out of guys. You don't even know who Thiago Splitter is if he doesn't play. If he doesn't play for Gregg Popovich, we don't know who Francisco Elson is if he doesn't play for Gregg Popovich, right? And I'm just naming guys, right, that just played for the team. But every team was different. Those five championship teams. Every team was different. So that's why I can never say he's overrated. He had to deal with a couple of different things to make it work. Coaching is about making it work, dealing with egos. How does it fit all together? All of these championships happened in different eras at different times. Different things was happening. He won a championship when guys started shooting the ball at an extreme level. In 2014, he figured out how to win a championship. In 2007, he beat Braun. He figured out, okay, this dude is not a great shooter. Sag off of him, and we're going to figure out how to win his championship. He swept them. Got them out of there. That team won 60 games that year. They were one of the best teams in the league. Won a championship in the late 90s. Figured it out. There's no way he's overrated. It's easy to say that now when he's devoid of talent. It's easy to say that. But there's no coach in the NBA right now that is devoid of talent making it to the pinnacle. Not one coach in the NBA.
Yes, there is.
Jump out there and say Eric Spoelstra, he is not devoid of talent.
How?
Because you just said Jimmy Butler is an all-star, a superstar. So he's not devoid of talent.
Hold on.
Bam Adebayo is 20-10. He's not devoid of talent.
Once again, they are devoid of talent. That's why those
to who?
To everybody.
They were just in the finals.
Right. You know why? Because they got a good coach that can coach.
He's a hell of a coach.
Right.
But they would not have gotten that far without Jimmy Butler. Is Jimmy Butler talented?
Not to y'all.
Chill. I love Jimmy Butler. He's amazing.
Hold on.
No, don't do that. Y'all know when I say y'all know. Listen, I've had arguments about Jimmy Butler. Dudes laugh at me when I call him a superstar. Dudes laugh at me when I say these top 10. So let's not act like I'm going crazy. Some of these dudes don't have Jimmy Butler in no talks about nothing. And like I said,
we're for Sportsman though. You feel me? Fuck those guys.
No. But we can't.
This topic.
No. But all right. So all right. In this topic, if we want to be real, Miami Heat should not make it to the finals. 2 out of the last 4 years, 3 Eastern Conference Finals. When you have a Nets team with Kevin Durant and them, when you have a loaded Milwaukee team, when you have a Philly with MVPs with him beating them, what are you talking about? Why is Miami making the finals? You know why?
Yeah.
Great coaching.
Because they're talented.
Okay.
Because they can shoot the ball. They had guys that can shoot the ball and hit shots. Like,
okay.
You gotta play the games. At the end of the day, I respect coaching. I played the game. I respect coaching. But what I'm not gonna act like is that the game doesn't get played on the floor. And the game's got to get played.
Gregg Pop, the same.
Play.
Hold on, Fabe. I'm gonna let y'all go. Greg, hold on. I'm sorry, Fleet. Gregg Pop, the same great coach, and Fish had to put me in my place with this. The same great coach that knew or didn't know Steven Jackson should have been playing more than Ginobili. The same great coach that sat Tim Duncan down in the NBA Finals. Hold
on. That point you just made. He should have played Ginobili more than Jackson. They won.
No,
and he started playing Ginobili more. He started Ginobili. I mean, he started Jackson.
Once again, the same play, the same coach. What's my guy that got traded in Atlanta? You heard what he said about Pop, right?
DeJounte Murray.
Murray.
What did he say?
Listen.
What did he say?
Oh, yeah, y'all don't know what he said?
I heard what he said. He sounded like Steven Jackson.
He didn't. No, he didn't sound bitter. You play with people.
He didn't have nothing bad to say about Pop. He talked about the organization.
He didn't have nothing good to say about him. He didn't have anything good to say about him. Listen, man, I respect.
Let's talk, and we can revisit DeJounte Murray's career in another 5 years, and we can revisit all the other players that play.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
If DeJounte Murray is jumping out there, good for you. Have fun in Atlanta. Let's see you win there. Because now you're playing for a Gregg Popovich disciple in Quinn Snyder. So let's see how things work there. So
remember, he got Tim Duncan. He got his next Tim Duncan. So we're gonna see. Go ahead, Fabian.
Stop.
I want to see if Dom got to throw something in the ring here.
Oh, okay. So I've had this discussion about like Phil and Pop for a long time. I mean, I know we haven't mentioned Phil, but one thing I learned from coaching myself, and this was just, I'm gonna give an example. I know it sounds silly, but I coached a team 6 years ago. My first time coaching, I coached a team at a rec center, right? I gave them all these principles, all these philosophies, a certain way I wanted to play. We went 2-8 because I just didn't know the kids in the league. 2 seasons after, I knew almost every kid in the league. Same principles, same philosophy. My team was 8-2. And that showed me right there, you could be a great coach, but you need the talent in basketball, especially in basketball. There's only 5 players on the court. You can win. You can't win without talent, but you can lose with talent as a coach. And Gregg Popovich, he maximized his talent. I agree that Duncan is more important in the Spurs' success than Pop. I'm always going to go with the player first before a coach, always. But as Flea said, Pop maximized all of his players to me. He may not have maximized their stats, but he maximized the team's success and got all those stars to buy in and have worse stats. He brought in all these random foreign players to just play the right way, play his system, which was move the ball and move without the ball. And then he adjusted from a post-up, slow, half-court NBA with Duncan as like his central piece, throw it in the post and work off of him, to the league started going more pick and roll heavy, more guard heavy, and he adapted. And then Tony Parker became like this. I mean, I'm not saying that Tony Parker didn't have that talent on his own, but their offense was Tim Duncan and Tony Parker running high pick and roll with shooters. And they, as Flea said, they wiped Miami off the floor. And just to finish it, when you said, what is he doing without talent? Look at this trash-ass team that Gregg Popovich took to the playoffs in 2018. That got 47 wins.
DeMar DeRozan, Debo is the best player on this team.
No, it's not. Even worse. They don't even have DeRozan.
Name the team. No. I can't name the team.
LaMarcus Aldridge is the best player on the squad. Kyle Anderson.
This is a little further back.
Davis Bertans in his second season. Matt Costello. Bryn Forbes. 16 years in the league. Pau Gasol. 11 years in the league. Rudy Gay. Manu Ginobili. I think this was his last season of his entire career, maybe. Let me double check.
Sound a decent team to me. Go ahead, though. Keep going.
What? This was the last season of his career. He averaged 9 points. Manu Ginobili, 9 points.
No.
Danny
Keep going.
Green, Darren Hilliard, Joffrey Laverne. Remember, Kawhi Leonard did not play this season. That was the year. Patty Mills, sophomore DeJounte Murray.
Tell me who started.
Okay, the starting lineup. Let me see it. LaMarcus Aldridge, Kyle Anderson, Pau Gasol, DeJounte Murray, and Danny Green. This is, by the way, DeJounte Murray. You hear that name now, but he was 21 years old. He was averaging 8 points a game.
So why did you name what's name? He wasn't with them, right? What's my guy? You just named him. That was in Chicago.
Well, they had Tony. It looks like they had Tony Parker off the bench for 20.
No. What's the shooting guard that you just named that was in Toronto? He wasn't there, right?
DeMar wasn't there yet.
All right. Yeah, because he said DeMar DeRozan at first. That's why I'm like,
this team is not.
You heard that roster?
Right. Yeah. Danny Green
wins.
Right. Once again, that's what good coach is supposed to do. If you're a great coach, if you go, hold on. This is all I'm saying. If you're a GOAT, if you're top 2, because some people have a number 1, some people have a number 2. That's my issue. That's why I say he's overrated.
Is he third?
I'm taking Pat Riley. I'm taking Phil Jackson. I might take Chuck Daly. And then that was
what?
No, hold on. This is listen, bro. This is me. Listen, this ain't got to hold on. And then let me say this.
Clearly.
Now, where does Red Auerbach fall into this? Where does Steve Kershaw fall into this? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Kerr
So
over Pop.
I was gonna ask.
Hold on. Chuck Daly won back-to-back titles. I don't think Pop never won back-to-back. Hold on.
He never.
Chuck, I'm asking, did Pop ever win back-to-back titles?
No.
Never. Chuck Daly went to 3 in a row. Pop never did that either.
Come on, what we talking about? Don't.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is, with me, don't make me seem like I'm crazy. And Chuck Daly went back-to-back. Look at who he went against. The GOATs in them. That's all I'm saying.
My thing is, if you're saying he's overrated, where does he belong?
That was my question. In the last 25 years of my lifetime watching basketball, who's in this conversation? Because if you got Phil Jackson and Chuck Daly, I don't get that. I don't get how when you got a guy who didn't really go, you talk about a guy who needed players, the superstars of their era, that is totally Phil Jackson who you described. That's nowhere near Popovich. You couldn't even bet against Popovich's teams in the last 5 years with those bummy squads. You better not bet against them.
That was
the gambling odds.
There was a 20-year stretch where Pop was in the playoffs every year for 20 years.
And
like
a
20-year stretch.
And the best Western Conference in NBA history, I might
add. So this is what I'm like.
Hold on. But this is my point. Where do we... Popovich wins in every era when it changed. Popovich is in the West, the most dominant conference. Hold on. Popovich in the best conference, maybe ever in the league, the last 20 years. Maybe ever. Yeah. On top of that, he has the game changed on him, and he still was winning. Forget about winning the chip. He's in the conversation for winning. That 2013-2014 team, when they went back-to-back. I'm sorry. He did go back-to-back in the finals. 2013-2014, and they came back.
No. Did he?
I know.
So he won.
He didn't win.
I think he won. I'm saying
I
made a mistake before and said he didn't go back-to-back in the finals. But to get that team, Tim Duncan and Ronald Ginobili, they're all older. Like Tim Duncan's is damn near out of he's over the hill damn near. So I'm trying to understand. So back to Flea's question, like who is in this conversation? You said in the last 25 years, forget Chuck Daly, forget Pat Riley because he basically ain't coached the last 25 years. You got it's Popovich, Phil Jackson,
Steve Kerr, and your man in Miami,
Spoelstra. But also, who's not mentioned ever is Jim Carrey from the Indiana Pacers. What's my man's name?
Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle.
Okay. Doc Rivers is the most overrated coach ever. That's the guy that's most overrated.
I think we got
no. He's the most worst because he ain't overrated. He's the worst coach ever. Doc Rivers don't belong in none of this shit.
Right.
Like Tyrone Lue needs to be talked about in terms of generation. I don't know about all time, but generation, Ty Lue's a hell of a coach.
I'm trying to understand what anyone would say about
rated. I'll stay away from that. Y'all won't like my take on that. I'll stay away from that.
Ty Lue, a hell of a coach.
We either is rated or overrated, whatever it is. How are we rating them? Because Ty Lue has not jumped from team to team and had different teams and taken them to the championship yet. I want to chip with them yet.
Why is just to play devil's advocate? Why is Ty Lue a hell of a coach?
I've been watching his adjustments. I've been watching the day he became the head coach in Cleveland to what he's been doing as a Clipper head coach. From what I'm watching, the adjustments that he makes, how he empowers a lot of the guys that are losing it. I'm watching that 2016 team when he comes in. Like we could talk about David Blatt and what he did, but he comes into that team.
He did it though. Don't do that.
But J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert were doo-doo with David Blatt. They were not good.
Okay.
He comes in. They are completely different players. Ty Lue got J.R. Smith to defend. When have we ever applied defense with J.R. Smith? Ever.
So, but Flea, even with that being said, wherever you have him rated, I can't put that above what Rick Carlisle has done. Right? The last 20 years, Rick Carlisle had Detroit, the Pacers. He's back on the Pacers now. He had the Mavericks. I think every team he went to, the culture has changed. When he's in there, he commands attention. He commands respect. Every point guard beefs with him too. So Ty Lue is not in the conversation for me. Erik Spoelstra has different teams in the final competing, just in general. He's in the conversation for me. Different decades. He's in the conversation for me. So Gregg Popovich is in that conversation for me. So when we say overrated, who is he over that he should be under right now? That's the part that I'm trying to understand.
That's what I said. Chuck Daly. He said Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly is crazy. I think his career was cut short. I think he was sick or something like that. Like he only has those 3 finals. And after
Listen,
that,
man.
he didn't prove he could
Well,
coach.
hold on.
different teams
But
and
what you
everything.
mean? Hold on. But what you mean only 3 finals? Well, how do you say only? What that?
Because
What?
you just
do you mean?
underrated Pops only 7. You just did that.
No. You just said only 3. How do you say that? I didn't say only 7. I just say he overrated coach. But I'm not going to minimize his championship or anything. I'm just saying when it comes to some people saying he's the greatest coach ever, I'm saying he's overrated. We saying that he's not the greatest coach ever. How many times Phil Jackson 3-peated? That's great. Come on, man.
Come on now.
He had Michael Jordan and Kobe.
That's a total contradiction.
I think
He
Phil.
had Michael
I mean,
Jordan
if
and
anybody
Kobe.
is overrated, it may be Phil Jackson. Like
Thank
me.
you.
That's a great. Hey, but AllBall. Let me before we get into that. I mean, so where do you put Pop on AllBall's all-time coaching list? Where do you put Pop?
Honestly,
Because
hold on. Just real quick. He's probably going to be. He'd probably be 5th. I'll give him 5.
So
I'll give him 5.
Who's the 4th over him? Because Riley and Phil, Riley, and Red Auerbach. I can rock with that. But who's the other one?
If Kerr get another one, I may take Kerr over him. But right now, I'm taking Spoelstra over Gregg Popovich.
You've got to be joking.
I don't mind that.
Why do I have to be joking? That's what I'm saying. Why?
Gregg Popovich to me is in that conversation with Phil and them. Because
I disagree. I disagree.
I had to deal with Gregg Popovich torturing my conference for like my whole life. So like, I mean, I get it. Duncan was the man, and there was the players more so than him, no doubt about it. But I mean, this guy literally
wait. Stop right there.
We could say that with any coach.
Yeah. Why'd you say it was the players over Popovich? Why do you agree with that? And not with like in Phil Jackson's case, that is absolutely the case.
Facts. No, in every case. I'm agreeing and saying in every case. But I'm just saying this.
No. Not Eric Spoelstra's case. He does not have the best players in the league. He does not have a top 10 player in the league.
That's why they lost to the Nuggets in the finals.
They didn't
have a better player.
That's fine. But when we're talking about, I've never seen Phil Jackson compete without a superstar ever. That's a fact.
I'm talking about Pop real quick. I was going to say.
Perspective. Go ahead, Don. My bad.
He gave fools careers and revived careers. We didn't know who Danny Green was at all. And I'm not going to take away from, by the way, any of these players I'm going to mention, not taking away from the grind it took for them to do what they did. But Gregg Popovich Danny Green went from being a nobody on Cleveland to a starter on a championship team.
Y'all remember when he was dancing with Cleveland? Remember when they was doing that shit? They were taking the pictures. They was dancing before games. Y'all remember? Danny Green was one of the dancers.
Bro, do you guys remember Gary Neal? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember
looking like fucking Ray Allen. What happened to him when he went to Charlotte? He vanished off the face of the earth. Boris Diaw was fat. He was fat in Charlotte. On the worst Charlotte team ever. And he revived his career. Boris Diaw was nice, but he was losing it. He was fat.
Do y'all see what Spoelstra had Vincent, Caleb Martin, and Strus looking like in the playoffs?
Yeah. Catch and shoot guys. No, Vincent's a
See,
hold on.
Vincent, not so much, but he's a
but you hold on. But you can't now. This is where AllBall. I agree. We gotta agree about this. We can't just point to everybody else having superstars. You can't just say he turned this guy's career around. This guy, Spoelstra just took second rounders to the finals. That's crazy.
Okay, let me. Can I combat that?
Sure.
Okay, I'm not saying that Spo doesn't elevate guys' careers and get the most out of them. I'm not saying that he doesn't. But Popovich has a longer resume of having done this. Let Spo get some more rings and stuff.
Hold on.
We forget that Spo wasn't really that great in the 2011 finals, even though it's not his fault really that they lost. But it's
exactly. Make that clear.
It wasn't his fault. But it was not like he was some genius. You mentioned Pop fucking up with the Duncan thing, but Spo wasn't some genius then. And Gregg Popovich, I mean, they were running circles around the 2014 Heat. And let's be honest. One of the reasons we all said that the Spurs were a better team, even though LeBron was the best player, and D Wade was still, I mean, he was looking a little bit, starting to look a little more on the decline. He was really banged up that year, but shit, I'm still taking him over Manu that season.
And can I? I'm sorry.
And they got waxed.
Can I ask y'all a question? All the teams that you just named with the players that San Antonio had, who was the star on that team?
Tim Duncan or Tony?
Duncan, right? And then at a time it was Kawhi Leonard, right? So can we argue those two guys in any given time in the league was top 5?
Kawhi was never, by the time maybe 2017, but prior to that,
definitely top 5.
But
right.
2017. But prior to that, Kawhi was not a top 5 player.
No, right. But I'm saying, but remember, Fleet. Prior to that, it was still Duncan. So he still had. So even though y'all saying Gregg Popovich had a lot of these players like the Dials and the Neils, they still played with a superstar, right? Can we agree to that?
Yes.
Okay.
No. With Spoelstra, these guys visiting them, they didn't have a top 10 player on their team.
I mean, depending on who you're talking to, depending on who you're talking to, you could get somebody like yourself to say Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player in the league.
You don't even believe that yourself.
Listen to the masses, yeah, to me. But I'm saying if we talking a letter of the law, if we being for real, nobody has Jimmy Butler top 10 player in the league. Like guys laugh at that. So what I'm saying is for Spoelstra to not have a top 10 guy and he's competing to get to the championship every other year, and y'all telling me he's not in the same breath as Pop, to me, watch this. To me, hold on. This is why Pop is overrated, because it's not even comparable with Spoelstra and Phil Jackson.
Okay, hold on. So
12 of them things, it's not even comparable.
No. Hold on. Phil Jackson.
Jimmy Butler is a second team All-NBA player. He's a top 10 player in the league.
I also think Pop is one of the best ever at drawing up plays late in games. Like
the Spoelstra story is amazing. It's up there. It's in the realm. Once again, AllBall trying to slither through this.
He's being slick. It's just slick.
Trying to be slick.
Being slick.
Who else is in this conversation, bro? Listen, I'm with Spoelstra. If you want to say Spoelstra's better than him, I'm with you. Now, who else you telling me in this era, the last 20 years?
Steve Kerr. And you said Rick Carlisle. No. What are you talking about? How?
Hell no.
Why does it need to go even past Spoelstra? That's already a hot take.
No, hold on. Hold on. How is
Spoelstra being better than Popovich is not?
Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Fabian, how is Steve Kerr? How is Steve Kerr not in this conversation if we talking the last 20 years? How?
Because by your definition, Popovich is overrated because he had to rely on his superstars to play. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Steph Curry has been, whenever Steph Curry's healthy and KD was healthy, they won.
You just pulled the fast one on me. That's a different conversation. Don't do that. The argument you just said, hold on. You just said, who's in the discussion? We not talking about none of that. This is a whole, you said, who's in the discussion?
Wasn't my question.
No. Yes, it was.
The question was, who else? We said Spoelstra is better than Popovich. I'll give you that. I'm fine with that. But you said, is Steve Kerr better than Popovich?
You said in the discussion. He's in the discussion. Is he?
Yes or no, AllBall? Is Steve Kerr better than Gregg Popovich? A lot of thought going on.
No, but yeah, because
answer the question.
Yeah.
Walk him down. Answer the question.
No. I'm a realist. Hold on, y'all not gonna listen. One thing, you ain't gonna force me to say something I don't want to say. Hold on. Yes.
Why?
Yes. Honestly, I think he's better with players, relationship wise. I think he adjusts better. And I think him giving his players the freedom to be themselves is underrated. I think Steve Kerr's a better coach than Gregg Popovich today. Yes. Now, if we had the discussion 10, 15 years ago, maybe not. But today, yes, I think he is.
So you're saying that he's gotten worse as a coach.
Who?
Pop. But it's just that he's lost his stars. How's he gotten worse?
How he's gotten worse? Without stars, he's irrelevant. San Antonio, it's like
the map. When Steph Curry broke his wrist, what the hell was Steve Kerr doing? They were in the lottery.
Okay.
They got the second pick in the draft.
This is the first time they was in the lottery in a very long time.
Dude, Pop teams, you had to make every single right play to beat these guys on like a random Tuesday in November. Like you had to make every single right play they would never beat themselves. It was unbelievable. Like their discipline was just crazy.
Listen, can I say this? It's similarities it's similarities with Steve Kerr and Pop. Let me say this. When he came to Golden State, he made the adjustment, asked Iguodala come off the bench. How many players has he had that he turned their careers around? Sean Livingston, What's my guy that was the number one pick, the big man?
Andrew
Bogut.
Bogut.
Andrew Bogut. You got the guys like Barbosa. No, I'm not. Once again, they came over to Golden State. He made it work, and them guys was a juggernaut. I'm sorry. What's the difference between that and what Gregg Pop did in San Antonio? What's the difference?
The difference
difference?
we've yet to see Steve Kerr without talent coach in general. He's never been without his superstar and coach. Like
And when he was, they won
He
20
did
games.
one season and they were a joke.
No,
They won 20 games.
Right. And but again,
Okay.
that's not fair. All I'm saying, anybody could do that. All I'm saying is that when I see, all I know is when it's betting time, when I'm watching these betting shows, they always say, yo, Spurs, do not bet against the Spurs. They cover the spread. That shows that they're competitive. Like he's even competitive about load management. They like to say Popovich is. Oh, I still have yet to hear who's the third coach since he's so overrated.
You're
Is
saying
Kerr,
yeah.
Spoelstra, and who else? Carlisle.
Steve Kerr
AllBall.
Steve Kerr last year, everybody laughed, said they wasn't going to do it. People say Klay Thompson is nowhere near the same Klay Thompson. They have a young Jordan Poole. They have a Draymond Green that everybody said lost a step. They big man didn't pan out to what he was supposed to be, and he won a championship. So don't tell me somebody can't do it. I'm going to say it again. Everybody laughed. Klay Thompson is no, this is what people say. This is what people say. And Steve Kerr pulled it off. I'm waiting for Gregg Pop to pull it off.
Wait, okay, but what about in 2003 when David Robinson was over the hill and Tony Parker was still young and Tim Duncan beat
and Manu was nowhere near. That's why Steven Jackson had to play over Manu because he was just better. So now
got Tim Duncan.
Okay, that's Steph Curry.
And Timmy was an MVP that year, right?
Talking about.
And by the way, Steph had Andrew Wiggins playing at an all-star level.
But hold on, what do you mean David Robinson was over the hill? Pull up his numbers. What are y'all talking about?
No, he was not good. OG don't die on that hill. He was not good in 03.
Pull up the numbers. Pull up the numbers.
He was not good.
That's not
he averaged like 8 points and 8 rebounds. He was not good.
All right, I'm all right.
He put the butter on the door. He's slithering out again. When it comes to Popovich's accolades, all of a sudden, what do you mean?
Once again, if we talking he's the greatest, if we talking he's top 2, top 3, he's overrated.
He's got to be. He's David Robinson 2003 averaged 8 points, 8 rebounds.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I just say?
What did? Hold on. Now, what did everybody?
Did I hit that on the nail?
What did everybody else? What did everybody else average? Pull up everybody
in the season or the playoff? In the season, right?
No, whether the playoff.
This time.
Either one.
Oh, you want to put it on the screen?
Don't be scared.
No, but sometimes it be so little I can't see it. But yeah, but just run
zoom in.
Oh, okay, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, look, we talking about one player. Let's see what everybody was averaging.
Zoom in, Dom. Don't be scared.
Okay, man, that shit.
Go ahead. One player averaging over 20 points, and that was Tim Duncan in the regular season. Let's go to the playoffs. One player averaging over 20 points.
They relied on Malik Rose.
Once again, I'm asking you to name some of the guys, but they average.
Tim Duncan, Tony Parker,
right there.
Tim Duncan. He can't see it. Tony Parker's 14 points per game.
25 a night. Tony Parker averaged 15 a night. Steven Jackson averaged 13 a night. After that, everybody is below double figures.
Hold on. He was even worse. Tony Parker shot 40% from the field. Steven Jackson shot 41%. Manu Ginobili shot 39% from the field.
That just shows you how 42%. That shows you how tough it was to score in that era.
Okay,
it shows you how great Tim Duncan was.
That too.
And Pop.
Thank you. And Pop. Okay. Y'all got me on that one. But I said it shows how great Tim Duncan was. It wasn't that, but that was the short season, right?
Nah, 99.
No.
Okay.
They beat the Lakers. They ended their three-peat. Okay. Come on, it's a huge deal.
They knocked the Lakers out that year.
Okay. Hey man, I give them props for that. I was wrong.
The only thing you got going for you, AllBall, is that Gregg Popovich did coach one of the worst aesthetic finals in the history of the NBA. Maybe the worst since the 1960s.
2005.
A great finals for basketball
purists. Straight Benadryl.
Straight competitive basketball and hard-nosed defense.
I love that final. I was playing back like hooping at that time. That was a good. I was invested.
Get Pop out of here. Yeah. Let me ask y'all a question. Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was gonna say when you watch the Spurs in their heyday, did you not think they were a well-coached team? But you're gonna say that when you watch the Heat and the Warriors, they look like a well-coached team. And you would be right about that.
No, but what I would say is, if we talking Gregg Pop, and we're saying he's top 5, then okay, I'm not gonna say he's overrated. But when people was telling me he's the greatest coach, and when people were telling me he better than Phil, and then when people was not even talking about guys like Pat Riley, yeah, I know Red Auerbach. I wasn't old enough to watch that, but you got to pay homage to some of these guys.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. No, he's overrated. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I'm sorry, it's classic. I was gonna say, you think he has no? Why didn't you think he has any case to be the GOAT though? His resume, he has the most wins ever.
Okay, but all right, if
case?
now Flea, Dom, Fabe, this is my book on GOAT talk. When it's GOAT talk, you have to have the most chips, or you have to be up there when it's GOAT talk.
He's up there.
Phil has 12, man. Phil has 2 3-peats. Like, come on, man.
11,
come on.
11 rings, and Red Auerbach has how many? 8?
Hold on. Phil Jackson has 3 3-peats and 11 rings. Come on, man.
Phil played with arguably the best shooting guard of all time, had the second best shooting guard of all time, had the most dominant big of all time. From your words, had the most versatile defender of all time, Scottie Pippen.
Did they win without him?
I'm sorry?
Did they win before they got Phil Jackson?
No, but the same thing can be said about Pop. They don't have any rings without him, that franchise.
Did Mike, did Kobe, did Shaq, did any of them guys win before Phil Jackson?
No.
Dennis Rodman did.
So how's that overrated?
Man, Chuck Daly.
I didn't say he was overrated. I didn't say he was overrated. No.
Some people haven't won.
Hold on. I always say Phil Jackson is the most fortunate coach in NBA history.
We can go back and tape.
Great coach, but he's very fortunate.
Pretty factual. I'm not gonna lie.
We can go back and tape. You said Phil Jackson was overrated, my brother.
Wait, just now?
Bro, Phil Jackson being overrated.
About 10 minutes ago.
Did I say he's overrated?
Pop is overrated.
I definitely said that. I can
stand on that. I think that he's the most fortunate coach of all time, and that makes him overrated. Okay. I love Pat Riley. I could sing Pat Riley's praises all day because I feel like Pat Riley had an opportunity to have a couple different styles of teams, and you got a chance to see Pat Riley's real coaching acumen when he had a Showtime Lakers that got up and down, obviously had a big, but got up and down. Then you go to the Knicks, who don't have that style. You don't got the guys that get up and down and have that fast pace, and they could defend. They defend their ass off. And then he comes and has a D Wade and has to figure out this new generation of player. How do I put this new generation of player in position to carry this team? And he did that. He said, Stan Van Gundy, get the fuck out of here. Let me take over and do my thing. And now we're going to elevate this team. I think Pat Riley is, get me to say, he's head and shoulders better than Phil Jackson.
Hold on. Can we move along real quick, because AllBall is attracting these. Phil Jackson drew up more plays for game-winning shots than any coach.
Look, don't hate. Look, I'm getting.
You mean with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant on his teams?
For me, Gregg Popovich would draw up game-winning plays for Patty Mills, and that shit would work. And he would sub Tony Parker out and let him agree to do it. And he wouldn't bitch at all. That's big time to me.
Yeah, okay.
Players, like you said, Rashad McCants, players sing Pop's praises on his ATOs. His after timeout play, all of his ATO. People are like, they go to him and say, yo, what are you doing after timeouts? Like, how this is coaches, players want to know.
Right.
So yeah, that sounds good, Phil Jackson, but whatever.
Hold on. Phil Jackson, I got number 1, right? I got Pat Riley number 2. I gotta put Red Auerbach number 3. Just you have to do that. Now, at number 4, we can argue Pop, Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra. To me, this is why I say he's overrated, because when you go like that, you ain't no GOAT. And as much as people want to say Phil Jackson's overrated, to be able to do 3 3-peats when somebody does something that's never been done. No, 3. He got 2 with Chicago and 1 with LA.
Oh, you're right. Fuck.
To do 3 3-peats,
almost have 4.
That can never be overrated. I'm sorry. 3 3-peats, Flea? That's never. You can never overrate that. I'm sorry. I don't care what that is.
Just attach. Hey, you had the opportunity. In some people's eyes, you always had a top 5 player all time. Not even in the league. You had top 5 guy, but all time he's always had an all-time top 5 guy on his team.
Hold on. Hold on. AllBall just said that Popovich relies on the superstars. Phil Jackson has 3 of anyone's top 10 players of all time on their list.
Phil Jackson, besides that 1 year with Pippen, 94, and then the 95, he never coached without Shaq, Kobe, or Jordan.
Hey fellas.
Why would he?
Y'all watch Martin, right?
To fail.
Hey, y'all watch Martin, right? Y'all remember the episode when he lost his job?
Yep.
And what he said? They called me. They called Phil. I don't know what y'all talking about on here. They called Phil. Hold on. Jordan said, I'm not coming back unless Phil coaching.
No. Put that Zach comment up because I saw Del Harris' name somewhere.
Yeah.
Put that Zach comment up. What did Zach say?
Big shout out
Harris
Zach.
had this. Del Harris had the same Lakers team. Phil shows up. Phil shows up. They win the next year. Kobe was losing with Rudy. They went and got Phil and Gasol. Rest is history. Yeah, I'm not saying
true too, but I'm just saying, what did the Spurs win before Pop? Nothing. Same shit.
Agree. But for me, once again, it's not the same when we talking about he's the greatest coach ever or he's the greatest of 2 or 3. To me, he's fighting for that 4th, 5th spot. And when you're fighting for that 4th, 5th spot, to me, you're overrated because some guys is going, he's the GOAT. I don't think he's the GOAT. And then I see coaches like a Spoelstra that has way less talent and they stay competitive. This guy here, without them superstars, is irrelevant. But once again, we're going to see what he do with Wembanyama. He got his next one. Let's see.
We could argue the only reason Spo was in the conversation is because he had D Wade, Braun, and Bosh.
Okay.
That definitely lies in the conversation.
We can argue that because if he doesn't have that.
Did any of them win before him? Well, Wade won with Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Did LeBron win before he got Spo?
Yeah, but
he didn't. But I think that's more about Dwayne Wade than
LeBron winning. Yeah, LeBron winning the championship. Those 2 championships are not attached to. Okay, Spo was they flipped the switch when they gave Spo the job.
Why not? They tried to get rid of him, and Pat said no. He's my guy.
Right.
And
that's what makes Pat Riley a G.
No, but that also what makes Spoelstra one of the greatest because he's shown without a Braun, a D Wade, a Bosh, he's still able to get to the promised land. I'm sorry.
Hindsight is always 20/20. So we don't. When he's coaching that team in 2011, 12, 13, 14, they get to them 4 NBA finals. Yes, he's ascending as a coach, but I'm not about to act like he had that experience prior to him being in that position. Again, he was ascending into that position, and now we can talk about Spo and his greatness and what he's doing and how he's using the talent that he had. But at that time, good coach, capable guy, Pat Riley put him in position. But I'm not about to sit here and say he's the main cog for why they won back-to-back championships.
I disagree. It shows now.
That's fine.
I disagree. It shows right now him being a coach, what he's done with this team in the last 4 years, it shows why they was able to make the run they made. Because we've seen LeBron with good teams without decent head coaches, and we've seen what happened. So I disagree with that.
I agree. I think Spoelstra doesn't get enough credit for that. I thought I want to say LeBron's best years is Miami when he listened to Spo, and he had to listen to him. And
Fleet, before we go to the last topic, this is an overrated thing.
Fizz was a big piece over there. I ain't want to say nothing. I ain't want to bring up Fizz, but everybody champions how big Fizz was for Spo's ascension of who he is as a coach.
Look at me.
Was Fizz there a bigger deal to Spoelstra's coaching staff than Tex Winter was to Phil Jackson? I'm just saying.
I think that's a great conversation to have.
Listen, Fizdale is cool. He went over to our Knicks.
Better than cool.
Okay, he went over to our Knicks, and what happened?
As a head coach.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, I'm just saying.
As a head coach.
All right. But let me let me say this. Listen.
Different seats, baby. You know that. Shit changes when you get into that seat.
Nah, listen, man. before we pass off, I don't like the narrative that they try to spin that LeBron never had great or Hall of Fame coaches.
Oh, I agree with that.
Spoelstra is going to be in the Hall of Fame. And Fleet, to what you said, Tyronn Lue is a good coach. Some say he's a great coach. So we have to stop spinning the narrative that this man never had great coaches or played with great coaches. That's all I want to say.
I agree with that 100%. And Vogel, for what it's worth, he's a very good defensive mind.
He's a good coach.
The personnel around him, he did well.
Can I chime in with that real quick? I'm sorry.
Oh man, don't tell me this is some.
I'm just saying it is, but when you're comparing LeBron to Mike, comparing LeBron to Kobe, Shaq, all these other guys, he didn't have the greatest coach of his time. Spoelstra, yes, he's in the conversation, but he didn't have all his years. Kobe did. Jordan did. I'm just saying. I understand what you're saying. That Spoelstra was so underrated, but
that's not what we're saying.
Jordan had the, in your opinion, the best coach ever. Kobe had the best coach ever. Shaq had the best coach ever. When they say that about LeBron, they're saying that he doesn't have the best coach ever.
No, they say the narrative is always. I'm sorry, they always say LeBron never played for a great coach. This is what they always say. Y'all can look it up. Then they always say he never played for Hall of Fame coach. They always say that.
That's what they pump. That's what they pump.
Come on, man. Yeah.
But I mean, you get the point though, OG. We're not gonna compare Tyronn Lue to Phil Jackson. We're just not gonna do that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna compare David Black to Phil Jackson.
You know what?
We're not
but
gonna do
no. But you know what?
But we will Spoelstra.
No. But think about this. If you stay in Miami and you win 4-5 with Spoelstra, then it make him be comparable. But it's his, like Dom said, he wants to leave. He wants to do all that. So maybe you never give the coach the opportunity to become a great coach in that realm, because Pop don't have as many as Phil Jackson, and guys is making that comparison. What if LeBron stays with Spo and they win 6 rings? Now you have your own Phil Jackson a la with LeBron, like a Mike
boy, I carried you to 4 finals, man. 4 finals in a row.
Carry.
Okay.
4
we
finals.
We can't act like Spo wasn't a good coach, though.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is he was in the finals 4 times.
And hold on. And you know what? Hold on. All right. Hold on. If
Bro,
you don't say
2 MVPs in that stretch. He was the best. Like, don't do that.
Hold on.
Spoelstra arguing now. We're talking about him as the best coach of his time period. He's in this conversation. He told LeBron, take your ass out the 3-point line, man. What are you doing? Go get in the post. Pass from the post. What are you doing?
He shot 41% from 3, right?
No. After shooting 2 3-pointers a game.
Yeah, on less attempts. He was so aggressive that season. That was
come on now. He had to get into LeBron's mind. Listen, this is the way you're gonna play. This is why Dallas coached you this way or defended against you this way. This is why Popovich is gonna defend you this way. This is why you gotta listen to me. And then you have Pat Riley back there to back him up.
Fleet, you carried them. Okay, I'll give you that if you want to say that. But then let's remember the other side of the coin. You lost 2 of those. Mm-hmm. One of them, you got your boot smoke. Another one, you shouldn't have lost. You just flat up gave out. It was when he averaged in them 4 quarters in that Dallas joint, 8 points or some nut shit like that.
I'm not arguing that.
So
in that last one, you had a cramp game 2. You didn't show out. You're supposed to average 60. You're supposed to go out there and do what you a top 2 player is supposed to do.
28 a night. My fault.
No, he should average 40. You
gotta go at least 30. 30 in good defense. 30 in
so no. So when you say 4 straight finals appearances, show the hell up.
None of them showed up. The best way he could.
No, LeBron shit the damn bad, bro. 28 a game is no. Go for 40. Go for 50. D Wade is hurt.
Kawhi
Bosh is hurt. What's your
got
excuse,
a Finals
LeBron?
MVP for holding LeBron to 28 a night.
Yeah, but I wonder how many of those points were with Kawhi. Like, I wonder what the percentage was when Kawhi was actually guarding him. I
would love to see that.
I've never looked into that.
I think that whole that's a whole another conversation, bro. Because the defenders in this era, how often do they get to guard the best players?
Can we have that for a topic maybe next weekend? You got Kawhi, you got Iguodala. No, these guys held LeBron. Let's see what the percentages is. But that just shows how great LeBron is. I would never take away his greatness, because guys got Finals MVP, and both of them didn't even average 20. I think Kawhi averaged 17, and what Iguodala averaged 15 or something like that.
13, 15.
So that's a great topic.
It is because I think it was more like what Flea is saying. They really didn't get to guard him. Like, it was a little off reputation.
Yeah.